Hello, good evening, and welcome everybody. It is Monday, January the 6th, 2025. Fellas, we made it. We have brought in the new year, and we have already had some great college football.
Hey, hold on,
I'm
hold
just
on, hold
gonna
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. This is my team right here. All day. This is my team. Win, lose, or draw, bad coach or not, this is my team. And I wore this for a reason. We'll get into it in a minute. Boom.
All right. Well, we are going to go ahead and jump into the college football playoffs that we were not here for the first round of, but we got to witness the second round. And I'm going to start us off with that first game that took place on Wednesday, January 1st. I'm sorry, that was the second game because there was a game on Tuesday. But Texas versus Arizona State has been the best game of this entire playoff.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Pound for pound matchup, it was hands down the most entertaining.
Yeah.
All the other ones have kind of been blowouts or just boring. But Texas ended up winning that game in overtime, double overtime, 39-31. And I was saying it. I don't know if y'all remember when I said it earlier in the season, but when we were talking about my Dallas Cowboys and who we should draft, I said Ashton Genty was not the answer. It is Cam Skattebo. I think he is the best running back coming out of college this year.
I can get with that. One of the reasons why I think Ashton Genty got a lot of the exposure, not that he's not a great running back, but because he touched the ball 30 to 40 times a game. That's not feasible in the NFL. I don't care if you're King Henry. You're not going to touch the ball 30 to 40 times a game, rushing that is, just straight rushing. So he's good, and he's going to make somebody a good running back somewhere, but I don't think top running back, no. I think there's more than one that's better than him, in my opinion.
Y'all have the 8th pick in the draft. I don't see y'all picking Skattebo at 8. I really don't. It's the body of work. Yes, he's a talent. He's a player. He's going to go to the combine. We might see him go to the combine. Possibly he's going to go to the East-West game down in Alabama where the top-notch college players go to see Scatter. And we got to see this 40 time and stuff like that. Hell of a football player. Can't take that from him without him being on Arizona State team. They don't even make it that far. Like you say, one of the best games that was played out of all the playoff games we've seen, competitive on both sides. I want to say Arizona might have got hosed a little bit from a non targeting call that at this point, we at the end of the year, and all of us have watched all the games that we've watched. And I can honestly say, I don't know what a pass interference is. I don't know what a holding is. I don't know what a illegal touching is. And I definitely don't know what illegal targeting is. Sometimes we get it called right. Sometimes we get it wrong. They got to chime in up at the from upstairs and all this. And you saying that's non-targeting, and you got a kid laying here on the ground not moving. And that was
that what you're about to say, non-targeting. It could have been helmet to helmet, but it's still not been targeting. And I think that particular play, it wasn't targeting, but by the spirit of the rule, helmet to helmet contact is considered targeting.
So he hit him with his face mask, not the crown of the helmet.
It's still the helmet.
I know, but the rule is with the crown of the helmet. He hit him with the face mask, not the crown. So I think that's why they didn't call it.
So
I'm sorry, go ahead, D. Finish up.
So when the next day when they read the rules and regulations of this, that would have been considered targeting under the bylaws of what it is. But the problem we have with this, and y'all can agree with me or not, the sign that they don't talk about, or what they don't talk about in these bowl games, these are not SEC refs. These are not, they come from different conferences, and it's different things that go on in these conferences. So that's what you have to look at too, because they want to make it an even playing field. They don't want it to be SEC refs You know what I'm saying? ACC refs or whatever, however.
But what this is showing is the level of referee.
Incompetence.
I think these refs need to recertify every year, every 2 years, every 2.5, whatever. They need to recertify, and they all need to be on the same page, regardless of whether they're in the NAIA, FBS 1, FBS 2, they need to recertify and make sure they're all calling the game the same. We saw it in the NFL and we saw it in college. They have this thing now where if a defensive lineman comes at you with his hands out and you knock his hands down and he falls, they call that holding on offense.
Yes.
And all he did was knock his arms down and he fell. They called, I forgot what program I was watching. And they made 4 calls like that.
Yeah, I seen it.
And then they didn't do it on the other team, which led me to believe these refs are showing bias, not biased, but they're showing bias to the better team. So until refs can face some type of punishment via fines, via suspension from future games, these calls are going to go unchecked because you can't overturn the outcome of the game when you realize it's an egregious call or non-call. So something has to happen. When a player talks about a ref or disrespects a ref or throws a temper tantrum, they get fined, they get kicked out of the game. The refs have no repercussions for their mistakes or their non-calls or their, what we call it, look-away calls, look-away no calls. So
now, for the past 2 years, maybe a little bit longer, I have been a firm advocate for we have 1,000 cameras to watch these plays on. And we've got people in New York that literally watch every single snap that happens on Sunday. I get it would kind of, in a way, undermine or make refs look bad at times. But if it's coming down to decisions that affect the outcome of a game, New York should be able to, and we should have this for college too, not just pro. Somebody should be able to call the head ref, and say, "Hey, bro, nah, we picking that up," or "Hey, bro, throw that." You know.
But see, this bowl season, not just the college bowl part of it, the playoff bowl, excuse me, but this bowl season, we seen a lot of teams. Me and Kev discussed this, Skip. We seen a lot of refereeing let stuff get out of hand. The Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt game got way out of hand. Yeah, I mean, it almost was violence on the field, Skip, where you almost got fisticuffs with players out on the field because the referees refereeing from a different conference and they don't know what type of football is being played here. But
exactly,
if you're getting judged and you're the referee on a scale, sorry that you coach in the Mountain West. This is ACC versus SEC football. Big 10, Big 12 ref was coaching the Georgia and Notre Dame game. And I know we're going to get into it, but it disturbs me when I hear Kirby say out his mouth, he didn't know that they could run, the punt team back and forth off like that because the SEC refs don't let us do that. So I'm thinking, Skip, before these bowl games, I don't know if they do it or don't. We're not privileged to it. Y'all need to meet the refs. Well, y'all doing all this media, what I'm saying, Skip, all this media and all this, they got to have a conversation just like the referee in boxing come to your dressing room, tell you his rules and regulations.
It's a little different, but I hear you.
And I get it, but if you're the head coaches of your, I'd rather for before the game, you come and talk to Skip, you come and talk to me, so we know it ain't nothing in the game that we don't know that's going on, but you supposed to know these things.
There you go. So that nullified that whole statement. You can't be a head coach and not know the rules of the game. You can't be a head coach and not have somebody in your staff. That's their job. Hey, coach, you can't do that. And the rules that say such and such and such, throw the red flag and protest it right then and there.
Well, in college,
the game.
in college.
For him to make that statement, you don't know your job, sir.
So
that's just what he said by saying that. Because there's no rep that can tell you, hey, man, you can't play with 10 players on the field. Yes, you can. You can't play with 12 on the field, but you can play with 10 on the field. So saying that the SEC refs don't let your team run on and off, they have no control of that. So that, to me, is Kirby, a wee moment. You don't say that shit out loud. I didn't know we couldn't do that.
So that, like I said, these bowl games we seen, and we've always talked about it. Who really controls the football games or any sports? The refs do. So that's how we know when Vegas puts these spreads out and put these things, they be almost dead on the money. Am I right or wrong, y'all?
Yes, you're right.
So somewhere down the line, they got an inside track, a foul called, a flag drop, penalty, whatever it might, you know what I'm saying, it may be. And these games stay right along the line sometimes of what it is.
Well, go to South Carolina, Illinois. Shane Beamer's whole thing, getting pissed off, not what everybody's seeing online, but the original reason for him getting pissed off at the Illinois head coach is because Shane Beamer would sub and Illinois would be allowed to sub, but they were walking off the field from the numbers. So they take up the entire play clock, and we kept getting delay of games. And Shane Beamer sitting there telling the ref they're taking 20 seconds to get off the field. They can't do that.
But see, now, this is the point where I say protest. Don't wait till after the game to complain about it.
Well, he was complaining during the game, and they kept letting him do it.
Throw a temper tantrum. I mean, this is where the coach should get unsportsmanlike conduct. You get what I'm saying? And guess what it'll do? The commentators will talk about it. The people in New York will see it, and they'll make that call during a timeout, during a TV timeout, or whatever. If it's true, if it's that blatant, somebody got to say something.
Well, I'm sorry, Skip. Well, even so, what you're saying, see, this is the part where they're allowing them to do that because they're running the no huddle. Everybody's running no huddle, fast pace. And now they say, okay, we're going to help the defense out by allowing them to substitute. My problem is, why is the play clock? I mean, why is the clock running? You know what I'm saying? In between, you got 35 play clock, a 35-second play clock going. Okay, you got 10 seconds to get your people on the field before we turn this ball loose and let's go. You already know what's going on.
SEC owns Clemson.
John Franks is the Clemson fan.
Yeah, I know somebody said SEC owns Clemson. But anyway, the one thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to move on because I know we got a lot of stuff to touch on, is you cannot be a general manager at your job. You can't be the boss at your job or the head man in charge and not know what everybody's job is, including the refs. That's just what you're paid for. That's why you're paid so much. It's to know all these things so you can enforce these rules or complain about them or get something done. Now, could it have been done? But if you notate it, especially as many times as it happened in that game, hey, man, even at halftime when you're doing the interview, these players are doing this, these players are doing that. You don't think the people in New York are looking at that? So the blame for me is on the head coach. It falls on the coach. The old saying goes, when we win, y'all get the credit. When we lose, it's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
About the head coach. So you got to make some noise, man. You just got to.
All right. Well, we had one of the most anticipated rematches of the season take place. And good God, was it one-sided. Ohio State took on undefeated #1 ranked Oregon and blew the doors off of them 41-21. D, I think you're insane for your comment the other day. Right now, Ohio State's winning the national championship.
No, I wasn't. I don't think I was insane. What I told you was if he lost that game, walk out there and fire him at the 50. That's what I told you. I'm talking about Ryan Day. And Ryan Day in the last couple of games have proven me wrong. I mean, it's nothing to say. I'm referring to when I said after this game, I said Texas should be a 13.5-point underdog. Oh, well, the game ain't got here yet. They do have them at that. But you never know what Texas gonna show up, and you don't know what Ohio State gonna show up. We just didn't see Ohio State jumped on an Oregon team like gangbusters.
The same way they jumped on Tennessee the week before. Well, they're pissed. Listen, Ryan Day knows his job's on the line. They got a $23 million roster, and they're pissed off about losing to 6-6 Michigan at the end of the season.
Hey, man, as armchair quarterbacks like we all are, I want us to erase this statement or this comment or this thing that we say about Ryan Day has never beat this team, or he can't do this against this team. Kev, your favorite thing is, well, Lamar Jackson never beat Pittsburgh. The fuck? I'm sorry. Y'all kill me with that. When you prepare your players or your employees to do a job and they execute the job, it could be Superman. If they execute and do what they've been coached and practiced to do, they can win a game. Y'all kill me with these things. Oh, well, he's never beat such and such. He's never did this, and we're just going to go with history. Come on, man. Anybody can show up to work and execute flawlessly and do what happened to the Georgia Bulldogs.
What do you know about Ohio State and Oregon's rematch, man, before we get into that?
Oh, yeah, no, I just had to throw it.
The crazy part about the game, it did look like because all teams that had a bye lost. All these teams like they was some rust. I mean, Ohio State looked battle tested and ready to go because honestly, in the first matchup with Oregon, without them having some blunders on the offensive side of the ball, they were going down to score, and we wouldn't even be talking about this. In my opinion, Oregon played maybe 2-3 teams that were ranked on their schedule, and to sit out how they play and what they have to do, it just looked like they thought they were just gonna walk out there and just beat Ohio State with no problem. And if you don't think home field advantage is not a key, it is. Because you played in the friendly confines up there in Oregon, it was like a whole different game that we see. And you're not going to tell me Ohio State from top to bottom, they look like the best, actually the number one team in the nation, playing against the number one team in the nation.
Yeah, but those rankings sometimes are just that. They're feelings rankings.
John, I do too. But go ahead.
I hate Ohio State with these.
And to be honest, and I really think this is the national championship game, Texas versus Ohio State, to be honest with you.
I agree with that. All right, well.
So you're saying either Texas or Ohio State gonna win that championship?
Yes.
Ohio State's already beat Penn State.
Yeah, we don't need to
point that out. You know what though? I think an Ohio State Notre Dame national championship would be a good game.
Money wise.
Man, the brands that are there.
Yeah,
well, speaking of Notre Dame, without 17 seconds of Georgia mess ups, I don't think they win, but Notre Dame takes the Sugar Bowl 23-10.
Yes.
D, talk about your dogs, buddy.
It's nothing to discuss. Poor coaching decision. You obviously got the more talented team out there on the field, bar that you have a backup quarterback playing that was playing semi-well. You do not put your team in a position when it's 6-3 with 40 seconds left for halftime. We all know, as Skip said, we armchair quarterbacks, we video game football players, former football players. You run the ball and go to halftime, and it's 6-3. That's what I have to say about it. Georgia put themselves in this situation. I'm not taking nothing away from Notre Dame. We've said it all year. I've said it all year. We've been playing with food. And finally, outside of the Alabama game, the Ole Miss game, because they just jumped on us like it wasn't nothing. This one right here is disturbing because our offensive coordinator, Mr. Mike Bobo, which I'm hashtagging fire him today, has put this team in situations that you're supposed to know better. But kudos to Notre Dame. I am the one Georgia Bulldog fan that I've always said this is not our most talented team at all. We got 5 stars, but we don't have the skill position players that we need.
I was just going to say, because somebody been bragging about all them 5 stars y'all got, and they all at home.
So at the end of the day, we at the house, we lost. The better team won that day. That's it.
Go ahead.
The only problem I have is when I see these mainstream commentators saying Notre Dame just jumped on Georgia and beat them. I said, oh, wow. Really? You got a quarterback that throw for 90 yards and he ran for 80. I don't see that being a dominant offense. But hey, when you put yourself in predicaments and you jump behind the 8 ball by 10, 14 points, this is what happens. Go ahead.
See, the problem is, Georgia, you say to yourself, Georgia had the better team on the field. Had with those 30-something seconds left, or however long it was before halftime when they turned the ball over and then they go down and score, had they scored on a bomb or had they ran around the end and scored, it would have been, that's right. That's what we do. That's what it would have been. That's what would have been said. You can shake your head all day. Y'all had the better team, better athletes at every position. If y'all had scored with that small amount of time left, oh boy, we ready, not coming out after halftime, such and such. But it didn't go your way. So all of a sudden now you want to blame Mike Bobo.
No, I'm not going to agree with that. Me being
okay, you're right.
Me being who I am.
My opinion now. You had yours. This is mine. If you got the better team, you don't saddle them. You don't cuff them. You put them out there. You run them like horses. They just happen to mess up. That's all it was. Had they scored, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Boy, you see what we did with 30 seconds left? But wait the third quarter. That would have been the conversation would have been. So all this, we got 5 stars and this ain't the best team we had. Y'all got beat. You got exposed. Like we've been saying all season, you've been playing with your fool. You played with your fool in Alabama. I said it before the game. If they don't stop number 2, they're going to lose. Remember I said that? Number 2 beat y'all. One player. Not the whole Alabama team. Number 2 and the quarterback beat y'all. That's it. The best team on the field. Best team in the country y'all had. So miss me with that, oh, man, you know, Mike Bobo Mike Bobo don't execute the plays, dog. He just calls them.
So, Bobo calls the plays. I've seen a wide receiver screen called more this year for Georgia than a I formation running back running the ball up the field. So
I get you. I understand what you're saying about the timing of the plays called. What I'm saying is, with the caliber of athlete he got, those plays should work.
No, Skip. No, sir.
How many wide receiver screens he called in this game they just lost?
Several.
Okay, did they fail?
Yes.
Okay, now when they fumbled the ball, was that a wide receiver screen?
No.
Then. So miss me with that. You talking about that don't matter.
Skip.
It's amazing how you don't want to listen, dog.
I hear you, but you calling out a play. I'm trying to tell you
talking about the same thing over and over. The wide receiver screens are not what we're talking about.
You're right. Go ahead, Skip.
That's exactly it.
Well,
your team is so good you don't want to hear when it's wrong.
Skip, I'm agreeing with you. You're not.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all what my quarrels with Georgia were, and why I said in the group chat when Coach Abe asked us about who we were picking. I said, I'm going to pick Georgia because I'm an SEC guy, but I think Notre Dame's going to get it. And I was talking to folks about it throughout the week, and all I was saying, Georgia can't catch the ball. That's been a problem for y'all all season.
Mm-hmm.
Can't catch a ball. Can't catch a pass. And the second thing, all these Georgia fans came out. Oh, y'all remember what happened last time a backup quarterback came in for us? We went and won a national championship. Against Texas, Stockton did his job against Texas. He wasn't turning the ball over. He completed a couple passes, got him in some good positions to make some field goals and get out of there with a win. He was not. I did not think he looked ready to play to start. He wasn't ready to start, and especially not in the semifinals, or was it the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs? I just don't think that was the stage.
So I got a question.
Who was though, Gary?
I got a question.
Who was ready to start?
I got a question.
I think Carson Beck would have. I mean, even though he couldn't, I think Carson Beck in that moment would have played a better game. I still think Georgia would have lost. Go ahead.
I got a question then.
Go ahead.
I got a question. If you saying that, and you telling Skip that, if you know you have a quarterback that's not up to speed that you think, what do you do to take that pressure off of him?
Either try to design some plays that'll work for him.
So
run the football.
What? Thank you.
You run the football. That's what he's getting at. And that's right. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
You run the football. Check this out, Skip. In the third quarter, Notre Dame had 136-yard rushing. Georgia had 36. So you tell me who fault is that? That's the offensive coordinator not calling running plays. At the end of the day, and it's been all year, you have a second and 4. You have a 2nd and 4 when it's a crucial down. Excuse me, I take that back. It was 3rd and 3, Skip. Why you didn't pass the last 2 times, 3rd and 3. Now you want to run the ball?
Right. Now, I didn't watch the game. I was out of town, I believe. But what I'm asking is that you said that Notre Dame had 136 rushing yards in the third quarter. Yeah. That means they dominated time of possession. So if they were behind, Georgia couldn't afford to just run the ball. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes time of possession, time left in the game, or score dictates how you play call.
That is true. That is true. But in the scheme of the game, they would go down the field. They figured out, okay, we need to run the ball. He would run the ball, and I'm talking about we breaking 10, 15 yards, whatever the case may be. Here comes the wide receiver screen. Why? When you're running the ball now, here you get in the red zone. You didn't make no attempt to run the ball in the red zone at all. The one time that was the fumble, guess what? You bring a wide receiver in motion, and he missed the defensive end, and that's what caused the fumble. The man crashed in and hit the running back on the handoff. So again, where is a fullback on the roster where you line them up, I formation, and run straight ahead? It's a travesty if you say you didn't watch the game, watch this.
Okay.
They said before the game, Georgia offensive line outweighed their defensive line by 50 pounds. What would you would have done?
Of course, I'd have ran the ball. But if it wasn't working, D, did they start the game? Did they start the game out running the ball?
No.
They didn't. So how many rushing yards did they end up with?
Not 100, maybe 50.
But again, I didn't watch it, so I can't comment on that. But what I'm saying is, once you get behind, running is the last thing that's on your mind, especially if it's not succeeding. You said they broke 10 and 15-yard runs. Okay, they did. But wouldn't somebody else, hey, man, we need to keep running the ball? Not Mark Rick.
29.
But Kirby would say, hey, man, why are we not running the ball?
I mean, 29 rushes for 66 yards. They ran the ball. It just wasn't going.
Well, they attempted to run it because 66 yards.
That's
on 29 rushes. That's what I'm saying. They were trying. It wasn't like they didn't try.
That ain't nothing.
Yeah, but that 30 carries a game, D, that is a lot for any team.
When I'm saying it. I'm not just talking about Georgia. I'm just talking about any team that you know that you have a quarterback that's not battle tested to get. This game was not a shootout game. Like I told you, me and you talked on the phone. Notre Dame scored 1 touchdown on offense. They had 1 special team touchdown. So it was nip tuck on both sides. Notre Dame offense is not no juggernaut offense. Right. Once they got up like anybody would do, it's time of possession. We're gonna take our time. If we get 4 or 5 yards a pop, hey, it's fine and dandy. They ain't like they was attacking Georgia down the field. That's why, as an offensive coordinator, you should know, hey, look, my defense is playing well. They got us field goal game. So let me start running the ball and laying that weight on a team.
All right, fellas. We got to move on to the next game here. We are on the schedule tonight. Man, the last game was actually the first game. Penn State and Boise State. Penn State took it away 31-14. However, I do want to add that Genty still had 124 yards in the game. So he contributed. But
How many carries?
As we saw, he had 30 carries.
That's 4 yards a carry. That's excellent. And they still didn't win. Because they're so dependent on what he does. If they get the lead, then they can run the ball down your throat. But if they don't, it don't matter.
I mean, I don't know, Skip. Their quarterback went 23 for 35 with 304 yards.
Well,
the only problem, he also threw 3 interceptions.
Couldn't get the ball in the end zone. A lot of those yards could have came when they were behind by 14 points.
Well, they got in a situation where they were putting 8 in the box to stop Gentry. I mean, it was 8 in the box. They forced him to throw the ball. That's not their type of offense. That they run is predicated on getting him the ball, and he fumbled, I think, twice, I believe, in that game. So they were game busting, trying to get at him anyway. So I kind of figured Penn State was going to win this game anyway.
Absolutely.
It just what it was. It was a physical game. They was hitting him every play.
And this goes back to what you were saying about Genty and Scatterbo, or however you say his name. Genty's gonna, if you give him the ball, he's gonna produce. But at what cost to the team? If you're not winning, you don't run the ball, especially in the NFL. So when you talk about high draft picks, I don't think no running back is going to go in the top 10, including Genty. I just don't see it. Nobody needs a running back that bad to risk that kind of draft status.
Dallas does. Dallas absolutely does.
You know what?
We cut Dalvin Cook. The only thing we got is Deuce Vaughn, and Rico Dowell's up for contract this year.
They're gonna pick a running back.
I think we need to re-sign Dowdle and pick up somebody in the draft. But we don't need to wait until round 7 when all the guys have been taken. Jerry, you buffoon.
We're going to get on Jerry in a minute, but
God. All right. Well, anyways, fellas, the matchups are set. Have they released a date for when these games? Yes. Friday, January 10th. Hey, that is coming up at 7:30. We will have Ohio State and Texas. And it's not giving me the time yet. There we go. Okay. So Thursday we'll have Notre Dame and Penn State at 7:30.
They're playing at 7:30.
Those will be some good games. And then, man, the 20th, we get the final game of the season. D, before we get off this subject of college football, I need to discuss something that I've been seeing all over the media, and I just don't like it. What is this talk of the downfall of the SEC?
Well, the reason this is coming up now is that the NIL is in place, and we discussed it all year from the start of the season. We are watching teams that we never watched before because we got athletes splattered everywhere across the nation. You know what I'm saying? All games have been competitive. All games has been interesting. The days have gone where you have a stacked sideline of 5 stars in waiting, meaning that if a running back blows his knee out, you got another one ready to go. If a quarterback gets hurt, you got another 5-star quarterback that we already know.
Oh, yeah.
In waiting. So this is all over with where you got a 5-star receiver that's a burner. He's on another team now. He's not sitting and waiting for his opportunity. So the SEC was known as the big football factor around here. You know what it is. Alabama got them stacked. Georgia got them stacked. Now, the issue becomes this. We brag about the SEC, but it's a dark world when they don't want to talk about Mississippi State being trash. Kentucky. Who else we got out there?
Arkansas.
Who? Arkansas.
But hang on. You're telling me if Arkansas went up against Iowa State,
they'd lose?
We don't know. You just lost. Wait. You just lost somebody that we didn't think you were gonna lose to. So that's why
I knew we were gonna lose. I'll tell you why. I did not tell you why. I did not tell you why. Anytime the media says everybody had us winning that game. Remember Kirby Smart's speech before the national championship when he was talking about how the media had Georgia losing, there was no chance, they shouldn't have been there, blah, blah, blah. Anytime the media starts doing that, if I'm a head coach, I'm going to my team and going, let's go knock these kids' heads off.
Well,
you see what they're saying? Exactly what Kirby said. You see what they're saying? As soon as I saw everybody on game day pick Carolina, everybody on ESPN was picking. As soon as they did that, I said, we're losing this game.
Well, it's because it's another thing. The SEC has been dominant. You can't say nothing. I think 17 out of the last 15 national championships in Kansas.
13 to 15.
It's been the SEC. They said 17 out of 15 because
you can't be 17 out of 15. You can be 15 out of 17.
Yo, excuse me. I'm sorry. You got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you have that, you are the big dog on campus. But actually, it's Alabama and Georgia because you got a little sprinkling LSU every now and then. Auburn been trashed since Cam Newton left, right, Skip?
Yes.
And see what
happened. Bo Nix had him. He had him a little bit now, you know.
But South Carolina. Tennessee ain't did nothing since 97. So it's a lot of times when they run out here and say, oh, this, that, whatever. So right now with the NIL in place, the recruit
you will not have stacked teams no more.
Yeah, you ain't gonna have that. So you might get, as you see, Alabama, Georgia, they ain't in the national championship. This is the second year in a row.
Alabama finna fall all the way out off the map, partner.
This is the second year in a row that it's not an SEC team gonna be in. Well, we don't know that yet because it's Texas. But I'm gonna say this out my own mouth. I'm not gonna count Texas all the way because this is their first year. Now, if they do make it, the pundits will say SEC. I'm not gonna do that. They,
right.
You know, hey,
because they didn't bring SEC players into the SEC. They brought
Big
12 players.
There you go.
SEC. John Branks, I'm with you, big dog. He gonna talk about he thought they was gonna lose. You ain't thought that. You can't make
as soon as I saw it, you didn't see one text from me talking about we gonna come in here and whoop that ass. You ain't see none of that.
He said that.
He ain't got shit for me. Screenshots, player. Hey, one thing I do. Okay, I still don't believe there's going to be any type of fall off. Yeah, it looked bad whenever South Carolina, Alabama are sitting here, and Ole Miss before they won. We're sitting here going, oh, you know, Lane Kiffin. Let me tell you, Lane Kiffin can talk. Lane Kiffin can talk as much shit as he wants for the next year because he was the only one out of those teams that won his bowl game convincingly. And he was the main one sitting there going, committee, what are we doing in these games? This was an interesting fact that I saw. In the first round of the college football playoffs, all the teams who had home field advantage won. In the second round of the playoffs, all four teams that had a bye lost.
This is equivalent.
Hang on.
This is equivalent to Kev. When we was looking at the baseball playoffs, and we noticed that the team that did not have the bye, they're the ones that won.
They were on fire
because they was already in rhythm and they was on fire. You gotta think the teams that had the bye. Do you see how long? Look at the last time they had played a game. That's almost 2 weeks, almost 2.5 weeks, 20 days. You ain't had contact. Played, rhythm plays, you just out there practicing with each other. You see what I'm saying? Well, a team that's already lathered up, as you would say, they ready to go. So now you will see strategy of, is it good for us to get a bye, or we just need to not play in the conference championship? You see, all this going to play a part next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think Kirby made a statement about teams with a bye, but I mean, in the NFL, we see teams get the byes and they go on and win.
Some of them.
It's not every team. This was all four teams that got the bye lost.
But this is one of the few times that this has ever happened too, Kev. So this is also a point we can make that point now to beef up the argument. But nah, if I'm a team like a Kansas City and compared to NFL or Detroit, I want that bye the rest of my players. To get them healthy for when we do play. So, you know, it hardly ever happens where everybody with a bye loses in the second round. So we can't just take this one instance and say, oh, we shouldn't have any more byes. No.
Let me find us here. God damn, fellas, where did we leave off? Week 15 for the NFL?
Can't remember what's going on, player. We gonna talk about
No, we gonna talk about it. All right. Well, real quick. Skip.
Yes, sir.
Texas, Ohio State, who wins?
Ohio State.
D.
I'm taking Ohio State.
Ohio State, Notre Dame, Penn State. Who you got?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. All right.
Dame.
So we got Notre Dame and Ohio State in the championship. I'm picking the same way. I don't see Penn State being able to do it. Again, I say it all the time when we talk about Penn State. They're fine going 10-2. They all. James Franklin is another one that can't win the big game. And yeah, man, I think I told y'all the other day, Ohio State. Look, if that Ohio State team gets on the field, you ain't stopping them. You ain't stopping them. All right, fellas. Let me pull up my handy dandy music. Oh, it's been a little while. I don't even know where I put it.
But anyway, while he's doing that, man, John Brace put, people think because the third, fourth strings aren't 5-stars that the programs are dead. It's ridiculous, and I'm an ACC fan. It's not that they're dead. It's just that there's not the talent itself is not there. It's a reason these kids get these stars. They are what bolster the program to make everybody want to play up to them. And that's why I say real quick before Kev goes on, Alabama's finna fall off the map, man. All of the 5-stars are getting the hell out of Dodge. And they're not going to be able to bring in their top-tier talent because the coaching is not there. They are going to lose tremendously this year coming into the draft. I mean, into the next season. And people will see that. And NIL has a lot to do with it. But go ahead.
I totally agree with you. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs.
Oh, son, you going to talk during the music?
Oh, I didn't hear it. I don't hear it.
Oh.
Go ahead. You good.
So it's gonna be a lot of bumps and stuff like that. So there you go.
Okay, TC, we see you, boy. TC said, I told y'all. Well, I didn't think they were gonna beat them. I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did beat Georgia, but I didn't think they were gonna beat Georgia.
You know what, Skip? I was just glad that all three of our teams lost, and it didn't have to be where we got on here and he started talking about, oh, well, y'all better respect the dogs. Nobody give a damn about them dogs.
Respect the dogs.
You did.
Oh. All right, fellas. Well, I mean, we left off with picks from week 15. That was a while ago. I'm about to just discard these, and we will jump into these playoff matchups.
Yeah, man.
Before we do that, though, hang on, D. When y'all gonna rise up, man?
What?
When y'all gonna rise up, man?
Say it one more time, kid. One more time.
Y'all rising up again next year? Oh, man. I got into it with a Falcons fan today, and let me tell you, when I hit him with this, he didn't know what to say. He started talking about how bad the Cowboys were this year, and we had a better record. Y'all won one more game with your starters, missing half my team, and won one less game. What does that say?
Kev, you did it wrong.
No, I'm going to pile on there.
Go ahead.
When Kirk Cousins was on top of the world, remember in the second game when he had 5 touchdowns, 500-yard pass, and I said, oh, boy, as long as he don't, we going to the Super Bowl. But every year, it's the same scenario regardless of who's under center. They set y'all up for the failure. Every single year. Michael Penix looked like a world beater these last 2-3 games. But I promise you, if they had to put him in halfway through the season, he would have got hurt. Kudos to him. I hope he has a Hall of Fame career. But, boy, y'all better stop. Let him win. Yeah. Now, at one time, kid, every game, every week, you would say, keep them Falcons' name out your mouth. When Kirk was on the center. You understand me? So now all of a sudden I got to go. I love you, kid.
This is an interesting debacle of what went on down there on Northside Drive. You started off a hot 6-2, 6-3, 2 games up.
What kind of conspiracy shit is this?
Hey, but you know what? Everybody's been saying that because of the way they got that church. That dome is built on where the church was.
I totally that is that. There you go.
Yeah, they bought that church. They forced them people to sell that church.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think it's a travesty. It's a mismanagement of funds going on down there where it's $60 million going to be sitting on the bench that you didn't gave this man off of Achilles injury.
They gave him $100 million. He had 100 guaranteed.
No, what I'm saying, he already got $40 million up front.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, the next you got $60 million sitting over there.
That said 60 on the bench. My bad. Go ahead, D.
He's injured, dog. Like the dude had his hamstring came off the bone, homie.
So,
it's like a turkey leg.
It's really not no difference. You got him and they both injury prone. So anyway, like I was saying, from the last time we spoke, you was up a 2-game lead and you allowed this to fall off the rails. Your initial speech, Mr. Raheem Morris, when you came in, we gonna win this division. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. I picked them to win 12 games just all based off the scheduling.
I said 10,
and we based it off.
We both said 10, Kev.
We based it off of being that we thought Kurt would be the best quarterback in the division, which is not. It's still Baker Mayfield by far.
Absolutely.
Damn to tell you the truth, Bryce Young looked better than Kirk Cousins. To be honest with you, when we get the stats together, he led the NFL in fumbles and he led the NFL in interceptions. And you paid this man $100 million. Now, Skip, from what I heard yesterday from an old broadcasting team that was on live, the 2 Live Stews came out yesterday. I don't know who they know, what they said. They say Rich McKay is the one that got an Arthur Blank ear to go after Kirk Cousins. Raheem Morris and Funno wanted Michael Penix. So now we got a dissension in the ranks. Now this, I don't know if this to be true, but somebody gonna pay for this $60 million. And I'm gonna say this, Kent, if you're still listening, your defense can't stop a fly in the phone booth. You allowed the Carolina Panthers to score 40 points. The Carolina Panthers scored 40 points. Yesterday,
in the phone booth.
Listen, the game was 24-17 at halftime. 24.
Finish that statement. Finish that statement.
24-17 at halftime. Falcons are winning. How in the world do it end up? You lose the game, 43-38, whatever it might be, and you had to go to overtime with the Carolina Panthers. But y'all remember, when Kirk Cousins, this has been out of control, when Kirk Cousins went up there in Carolina on that Thursday night game or whatever it was, with all these chains on, talking about come in your trap and take over your trap. You ain't won a game since.
Now watch this. Y'all been Falcons fans. Y'all been bashing this certain player. But since Penix has been on the center, he's been a world beater. The tight end. Has he awakened?
No. No.
So last 2 games he's been a scrub, huh?
Last game.
Hold on. The question was the last 2 games he been a scrub, huh?
Yes.
Oh my God.
He's still what I'm telling you is he's still been out there half-assing. That's what I'm telling you. Now Drake London.
2 receptions for 15 yards yesterday.
Yeah. Drake London.
Not yesterday, the 2 games, not this bullshit, the stuff yesterday. The last 3 games, the 2 games before that.
The Washington game, he went off. That's it. 1.
Because he was getting the ball. You have to give receivers depend on quarterbacks, dog. Now, if he being lackadaisical, running routes and all that,
that's what he's doing.
If he's missing the blocks, I get it.
That's what he's doing.
A lot of times, you have to get the player in the game.
Skip.
No, Skip. He's had 8 receptions in the last 3 games.
Yes.
He had 4 against Giants.
He had 2 yesterday, so.
Yeah, against the Giants, he had 1 reception for 7 yards. Against the Commander, he had 4 for 44. And then yesterday, he had 2 for 15.
And one of those catches against the Commanders was probably about a 30-yard bomb down the middle when he caught the touchdown. So He is out there half-assing. But what I must say, Drake London and Penix look good together as a 1-2 punch. The guy's running routes. He catching ball. He looks like the number 1 pick wide receiver now that a quarterback can get in the ball. But that defense, somebody need to do something. I'm talking about Bryce Young. Do y'all understand Bryce Young was finna be traded and he was benched? He was benched.
That was going to be his last game at Carolina. You just bought him at least another year or two.
No, listen. Let me read this to you. Go ahead, Skip. I'm going to get this up. I got to read it. Go ahead, Skip. I'm going to read something to y'all.
While he's pulling that up, I want to mention I want to mention allegations to the Kansas City Chiefs of purposely throwing yesterday's game.
How? When everybody in the world knew they were going to rest their players coming to with the bye, with the division. And
you know how the internet works, and there are people breaking down every single play, showing different things. But I say that to lead into the fact that the number 1 quarterback in the NFL this year is not making the playoffs. The guy who leads in everything, Mr. Joe Burrow, will not be in the playoffs.
And you know what? Since he leads in everything, he ain't even in MVP conversation. Why is that?
Team ain't winning.
Team ain't winning.
Lamar Jackson, on the other hand, is gonna lose because the people want Josh Allen to be the MVP.
And his stats are off the chain compared to Josh Allen. So look at this. We get back on it, but I got to get this out by Mr. Bryce Young. Y'all tried to bear it. They are calling Bryce Young the Grim Reaper. He's gotten the Saints coach fired. He got the Falcon coach on the high seat again fired. He got Daniel Jones traded. He ended the Cardinals playoff hopes and ended the Falcon playoff hopes. This is in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6-game span. They had this man about to be traded at the draft. They say he couldn't play. This is a Heisman Trophy Alabama quarterback.
We don't see a lot of Heisman Trophy quarterbacks now fall like doo-doo. So let's not use that.
What I'm saying is, you, sir, when he got picked, yes, you said he was the number 1 quarterback in the draft. I told you it was C.J. Stroud at the time they got drafted.
Okay, yeah, I did.
They picked Bryce Young. That Carolina team up there did not put him in good place.
They did not
be successful. But again, when I told you he shouldn't start day 1, they need to sit him and let him get his feet wet. They throwed him to the wolves. They sat him for a 4-game period, and the Dalton got hurt, whatever the case may be. He come back in, and Carolina, regardless of their record, he's been playing pretty well. He just don't have all the weapons. But again, Falcons need to be ashamed of themselves. But go ahead, we get him back on top.
Oh, right.
Back to the MVP conversation. Oh, we got something else, guys?
Yeah, we got plenty more.
Let's go.
We got plenty more. One thing that I did want to talk about before we get into these playoff games is Mike Evans. Hey, man, congratulations. He now has 11 seasons with 1,000 yards. And I just thought it was pretty cool that the Bucs could have taken a knee and ended the game, but he needed 9 yards to get his $3 million bonus. So they got him that money.
Speaking of that, letting people get their yards and their stats.
And now we will talk about Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Cooper Rush had it in his contract that if he played 55% of the snaps, he would get $500,000 total. He hit half of it when he got to 45% of the snaps. But the day before the game, the news came out that Trey Lance would be the starting quarterback for the Cowboys. Jerry, when asked about it, said, "Oh, I didn't even know." Skip, take it away.
This is where we've been talking about it all year. They need to have some kind of rule or bylaw or something saying that the owner needs to just be the owner. I don't care how much money you got, how much it's worth, or whatever. Jerry has always been the type person that where he wants to be the voice of the team, of the franchise. Nobody can be bigger than him. Shannon Sharp said this, and Sam Acho and a couple other commentators, former NFL players, said this. When anything goes right for the team, you never hear the head coach saying anything. That's why Parcells is gone. That's why Jimmy Johnson is gone, because he could not run over those guys. And since those two guys, the franchise hasn't done anything. So until he gets muzzled, or God forbid something happens to him where he can't beat Jerry Jones no more, or the team is sold, the Dallas Cowboys will be in purgatory until he no longer has the power. And
I've said it for the last 10 years that we won't win another Super Bowl until Jerry dies. I've made it public on this show a couple of times. And to make matters worse, he was asked yesterday about stepping down as the GM and letting someone else come in to run things, and him just being the owner. And his response was, when I bought the team, I intended for it to be an occupation for me. So I will be here until I can no longer be here.
And they will no longer be spending money. Now, granted, they are the most expensive, most valuable franchise sports team, period, in the world, even more so than the Yankees. And the money is rolling in. So as long as the money is rolling in, there will be nothing that will get him out of that position. He can sit here and say, I want to go back to the glory days, but you don't have a glory days coach. You definitely have the talent on the field, but you don't have them in the right position. And what I mean by position is the coach is putting them in position to win, not that they're not in their right physical position. So, yeah, Jerry's the downfall. He was the savior of the franchise, so to speak, when he fired Tom Landry when he came in and had his own vision, and it looked like, he was on to something. And now we all know what it is. His ego is bigger than the team.
I just think he's been in power too long. We start to see that in anything. When someone's in power for too long.
No, I'm talking about, I'm reading the comment, not what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm reading the comment.
Hang on, I didn't even see that.
I don't think so. And here's my main reason for not agreeing with that. Let's use Kansas City. You have clinched everything you can clinch. There's no reason for your player to be out there, Patrick Mahomes to be out there playing against a Carolina team that's won 2 games, and these guys are pinning their ears back to get a hit, or a fluke play where somebody fall on your superstar's knees or twist his ankle or something. If they have no reason to play, there's no reason for them to perform like they have to win the game. So no, I don't agree with that at all.
Now, what I would say, yesterday was the first time, Skip, I've seen in a long time where they didn't really have a storyline because they knew this was the end of the season. Everybody basically had their seating besides the last game that played at night. The crazy part was they had everybody's contract information that had to play yesterday to get money. And I do think if in case of like Jerry Jones, we knew why you sat that man. Now you do what you want to on your team. That's why you see how you as an owner gonna tell the coach they don't play him, and we know why. Everybody knows why you not playing him.
Exactly.
That man, the Players Association. This is why I said they have the work. The NFL has the worst Players Association in
representation
any sport, because there's no way, like you were saying, Tars. I get what you're saying. Like how the NBA, if it's not a healthy scratch or whatever that nature, yeah, somebody should get into trouble. But playoffs, football is a contact sport. Anybody can get hurt, whatever the case may be. But we seen it, just like Kansas City. DeAndre Hopkins needed, I think, 9 receptions and something else to get his money. He was the only starter that was dressed yesterday. So I give them kudos because they was trying to get these people their touches. But, hey, it don't always come like that. Now, with Saquon Barkley, could have broke the record. I wanted him to break the record and so forth, but I understand the situation. They playing against his former team, the Giants. What you think possibility could have happened in that game?
They would have been trying to tear his knees out.
It was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I would have been trying to do it. If it's my former teammate and I know I'm going home,
and he finna set a record against us? No, he ain't finna break the unbreakable record against us.
I'm about to break you, homie.
And so you got to think about all this. Like you said, why would you put a Mahomes out there against a team that's going nowhere? You know what I'm saying? And as we see, Green Bay, Jordan Love got hurt yesterday. The wide receiver blew his ACL out yesterday. They got to come to Philly. They got 2 of their bullets out the gun hurt.
All right. Well, speaking of, go ahead. Go ahead.
And another thing, comparing it to the NBA about sitting out, there's only 16 NFL games for a reason, or 17 now for a reason. That contact all through the week practicing, and then the real hard hitting on Sundays, you can't do that for 82 weeks. So when a Laker team plays the Hawks one time, you shouldn't have a superstar player sitting out, because that's why everybody's buying the tickets. So you can't compare the two, because it's just completely different. But go ahead, Kev.
All right. Well, I'm going to end with this. To Kent's point, I think Jerry's got some Walt Disney stuff going on behind the scene, where he's going to cryo freeze his body. Right? I mean, he's got the money to do it, and he's got the ego to do it. I think he's going to cryo freeze his body, and then he's just going to pop back up in 50 years. Like, I told you I'd be back. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You can't kill a fly on a phone booth.
Hey, also, one last one too. Coach letting a guy get his money. Sean McDermott punted from the Patriots' 35-yard line to unlock a $300,000 incentive for his punter. So that's pretty cool. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to remember the days. Man. You remember the days when you had a Sean Alexander needed a touchdown and they took him out the game. The days are gone of that. These players got to get their money. They know it's the sport, what the times we living in.
Absolutely.
And if you do that to a player, that can cause a cancel on your team, and next thing you know, you got a problem.
All right.
You're going to sit here and say they play back-to-back in basketball like you could play a back-to-back NFL football game? Man, stop it. Come on now. You're going to make me think you're not a real fan, dog.
All right.
They play back-to-back in basketball. Like, they can play 5 days in a row in basketball and still can't. Come on, man. Go ahead.
In baseball, they do 2 games a day sometime. All right. Well, all 6 of the playoff matches are set for wild card weekend. Kicking us off, we have the Chargers and the Texans. This game is in Houston.
And that's what I'm going with.
I'm taking the Chargers.
I'm not. And the reason I'm not is because they have not proven to me that they can win when they need to win. Throughout the season, the coaches had them primed, ready to go. They come off a bad loss. You know they're hungry. They got the right coach, the right mindset, and then they lose. So I don't see Houston losing at home. No, sir.
I'm taking the Chargers.
I want to pick him because I love the coach, but no.
It's amazing how
I'm taking the Texans. I believe in CJ Stroud.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take the Chargers, and the reason being the coaching. It's amazing how he came in there in 1 year and got that team to the playoffs. Justin Herbert, looks like a totally different quarterback, and the defense is all the way physical. I think the injuries are going to catch up to Houston on the back end in their receiving core. That's just my opinion. I think it'll be a close game, but I'm taking the Chargers.
All right. Next up, this will cap off our Saturday night. The Steelers are going to Baltimore. This is round 3. They are 1-1 this year. The Steelers have dropped, 4, 5, 6 straight?
Yeah, 4, I think.
They were 10-3, and now they're 10-7. Yeah, they've dropped 4 straight.
But Lamar all day, man.
I know.
This is what
I'm taking Baltimore also. The Steelers got a situation brewing on their team, but they have another diva situation, wide receiver, and that's getting out of control. We keep seeing this with a wide receiver. If you go back, we had a Mike Wallace, then we had a Antonio Brown, and it looks like George Pickens is starting to unravel up there. And I don't know if it's the media. He's not media trained. That's one, because he got some information that Russell Wilson said they're not on the same page. He didn't hear Russell say that, and it showed in his play. If he doesn't show up, their offense does absolutely nothing on the back end. So we taking Baltimore. I need Lamar. Lamar has to show up in these playoffs.
some of the stuff you comment, dog, I think that shit personal.
Charles troll.
Russell Wilson sleeps his hair equals a loss every day. he started talking about Aaron Rodgers and the discount double check. What the hell does that have to do with the
Cut it out now.
This dude got a personal stake in this stuff, man. Hey, kid, you better pick Pittsburgh. You better pick Pittsburgh.
All right. Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you better.
Is 0-5. Pittsburgh is 0-5 in their last 5 playoff appearances.
He playing against Lamar. Lamar can't beat Pittsburgh, remember?
Pittsburgh is 0-5 in their last 5 playoff appearances.
Who you picking?
Lamar Jackson has a 2-5 playoff record.
Yeah.
Who you picking?
Give me the veteran Russell Wilson to lead the Steelers out there.
You better pick him. All that chance you were talking about Lamar can't beat Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
He beat the stank off of him. Go ahead.
That's fine.
Next.
That's fine. A blind squirrel catches a nut, buddy.
Next.
Oh. All right. Well, the Broncos are leaving Mile High, and they are going to see the Buffalo Bills. That game will start us off on Sunday at 1. Give me the Bills.
I'm picking the Broncos for the upset simply because I hate to say this, and y'all gonna take this the wrong way. Josh Allen a little bit overrated.
I agree, and I'm going with the Broncos. Broncos got a better defense than Buffalo. And this ain't gonna have nothing to do with the weather because both of them play in cold environments.
That's right.
Bo Nix don't turn the ball over, they win the game. That's it. All they gotta do is put a hat on Josh Allen. I don't think he have enough weaponry, even though we got Cook running the ball effectively for Buffalo. This gonna be one of them 17-10, 17-24, 17-21 games, but I'm gonna take Denver.
TC, if Josh Allen run a lot this week, he gonna get hurt. Number one's gonna be freezing cold, and when they lay their helmet on him, he gonna stop that running.
But Skip, one thing that's holding me to the Bills is the Broncos' run defense is not the best.
Right.
And D just said it. James Cook has been running that ball. They get that run game going. I don't think Broncos have the secondary to keep up when they start running play action and dumping it over their head. Because Josh Allen's not just a runner. The man can throw 60-yard dimes. So I'm giving the experience here and the fact that Bo Nix has been a turnover machine at times.
I want to mess with you about something, but I don't want to start it. But
then let's not. We'll go to the next game. The Packers will be with an injured Jordan Love going to Philly, and oh my God, I'm gonna puke saying it. Give me the Eagles.
Well, I mean that goes without saying. Come on now.
We got the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL. Everybody's healthy. They rested everybody. We got to come out and handle business. Who had
the number 1 ranked defense last year in the playoffs in the NFL?
Y'all had the number 1 ranked defense.
For the
Yeah, for the last couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I was just going to say because I think they didn't make the Super Bowl, but we did and we lost. But anyway, okay.
Yes.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
We all pick the Eagles.
Skip.
Yeah, come on now.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Hey. All right. This, I think, is going to be a great game. The Commanders are going to see Blue Collar Baker in Tampa.
Listen, I want to pick Tampa so bad. I'm going to pick Tampa.
Do it, Skip. I'm doing it.
I'm picking Tampa because of Baker Mayfield. I said this way back when they lost their first game against Atlanta, and you saw at overtime when they didn't win the toss and his face dropped. I said, man, that man's a blue-collar quarterback, and he's been showing it all year. He needs to win some kind of award, 6th man of the year, something. I don't know.
He got a comeback player of the year.
Yeah, he need to win something, man, because he been it. So I'm picking it because of Baker Mayfield. And then your boy, but he got a receiver back.
Yeah.
He got Big 13 back in the fold. So, hey, I'm picking Tampa.
This was the first, if you go back and look at it, the Commanders, this was the first game of the season opening week 1. Tampa beat them 40-something to 20 in week 1. And I think the game it'll be a little bit closer, but I am going with the Commanders with the upset on the road because I think Daniels and Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator, they have figured out, they have started gelling with each other. And when they get in the red zone, Skip, they damn near unstoppable. So depending, this game will be, I think we're gonna get a shootout in this one right here, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm picking the Bucks again based on the experience. All season in the big moments, Jaden Daniels has turned the ball over. Excluding yesterday when they had a walk-off touchdown with 4 seconds in a 16-17 game. In a 16-17 game, that's not, against a hurt Dallas team.
Sorry.
That's all I'm saying. They have played very well all season.
I'm going to call court.
But they have yet to – it's exactly what y'all said about Dallas last year. Y'all beat up on these under 500 teams.
I just don't see that happening with the Commanders, though. I think Tampa's gonna have the game in hand by halftime, and not blowing them out, but they're gonna have such a momentum thing that if Washington don't get the ball coming out of halftime, I don't think they're gonna have a chance.
That's what I'm saying. I'm picking the Bucks. I'm picking the Bucks.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying this is Jaden Daniels. He's played outstanding.
Yes.
But crucial turnovers and crucial moments have been the reason they lost those big games.
Right.
So, with that being said, we are locked on that one. And the last game that will take place on Monday, the Vikings are going to LA to play the Rams. I think we are locked up on the Vikings. But remember, it's playoff football. It's playoff football, fellas.
And that's why I think the cream is going to rise to the top. The receiving core that Minnesota has, the defense, that they're playing. Now granted, when they played against Detroit yesterday, but I don't see the game even being close. I see it being one of those games where they get a 10-point lead and they keep it. They win by 10. But
I got to go along. I think the Vikings will win this one. We never thought to see. We didn't think the Rams was going to be in the playoffs this year or win the division. The 49ers.
Punk white boys in a bar fight. They keep.
Don't read that out loud.
They keep coming.
He ain't lying,
drop one on.
Picking the Vikings, though. The Vikings had the most talented team now. That was probably the worst Sam Darnold looked in a long time since last year being on another team. He looked like
the Jets, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, but what was crazy, Skip, they got in the red zone, I know 2 or 3 times, and they kept going for it. And this another time where you got an offensive coordinator not running the ball in the red zone. I didn't understand it.
But in this case, I applaud him for it because he wanted to see something. Because you already clinched the playoff berth. So let's see how they react. Again, they wouldn't have changed no seeding if they were to lose.
Yeah, no, they was playing for first place. They were playing for
they were playing for number 1 in the NFC and their division.
Yeah,
Just Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh,
they were both 14-2.
So you played for the number 1 spot. Wow. Whoever lost dropped to the 5th. The other one got the bye. So they were actually playing. It was nip tuck, and then it seemed like Minnesota just said, you know what? They done got ahead of us by 2 touchdowns. We're gonna call off the dogs, and the score doesn't reflect how it started off. But
this dude,
I'm going with that. I'm going with the Vikings.
This was also the first time in NFL history that a 14-2 team did not win their division.
That's true.
They lost another 14-2 team.
Huh?
It's because there were 2 14-2 teams.
But
they were in the same division though. That was
but think about this: when we started off our NFL presentation this year, none of us had the Vikings winning 14 games or making the playoffs. We thought the fight was going to be between Green Bay and Detroit. We didn't know the Vikings was going to be this competitive because the quarterback that they drafted got hurt before the season. Sam Darnold. This goes to show you proper coaching, proper development, and you have a quarterback on your hands when he's in the right environment. So, hey, there you go.
There you go.
But everybody also thought the 49ers were going to be in play, though. So with them in play, with them 13-4 or whatever, 12-5 or whatever the case may be, then it would have one of those teams would have had to be down where the 49ers are at the beginning of the season.
The 49ers not in the same division. That's what I'm saying, in that division that we
right, but all these teams you're talking about beat the 49ers, though.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So had the 49ers been good like in past seasons, they wouldn't be, I ain't gonna say they wouldn't be as good as they are, but they wouldn't be in the contention they are. Go ahead.
Skip, both of our teams just had injury bug. Like I said to that Falcons fan. Like I said to the Falcons fan, dog. Like I said to the Falcons fan, dog.
You feel like that?
Half our team was hurt, and we won one less game with y'all in a full roster.
I'm gonna say
Tell the story. Another year where I'm going to go off a little bit again. Another year where the Falcons do just bad enough to miss the playoffs, but just good enough to get a shit draft pick.
Sir, you
do it every year.
Sir, you picking ahead of the Falcons, and you're picking number 8. The Falcons are picking 15. So I don't see no difference in y'all franchises. Both of y'all do, as Skip would say. So
I'm gonna go back to, even though it's been 20-something years, we got 5, y'all got 1.
That's what everybody's saying.
Just like my homeboy from Detroit that was talking about these Lions. He came on and he said, I was sitting there talking to him at work, and he told me, he said, y'all ain't won nothing in this many and this many. I said, buddy, this is the best season y'all have ever had.
Yeah.
There has literally been nothing better than this year for you.
That's
called crazy. New money. Hey, D, you gonna let me finish talking, or you just gonna keep trying to talk over me?
No.
All right, give me your last tape then, Playboy. No. Because I got to sign off.
Y'all don't listen to this young fella down here about this Cowboy mess, because he ain't seen our now Super Bowl. He watched it on VHS.
Player.
He don't know nothing about it.
Player. Whether I made the money or inherited the money, do I got the money?
You don't have any money.
Bang.
If I made the money or inherited the money, I'm still rich.
Listen,
at the end of the day. Give me your last take, please, sir.
Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Really appreciated this. As we start off the new year. Happy New Year to everybody. Family members, holidays and stuff. We enjoyed y'all tuning in for the past year or so forth and whatever. But again, we got more content coming. I know we getting down to the Super Bowl. All-Star Weekend is about to come up. NBA, we'll get in some of that conversation too. But thank y'all again.
All right. Same as D, man. Echo D sentiment. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching us, listening to us, banter on about our viewpoints or our views about the past weekends or weeks sports activities. Now, I am a 49er fan. We were 10-6, 10-7. Bad season by all accounts.
Y'all won 10 games, bro?
Yeah, we won 6 games. I'm sorry. 6-11. Bad season by all accounts. But boy, when a Falcon fan open their mouth to me, or even a Georgia Bulldog fan, when they talk about the caliber of win, when they lost the same amount of games as we lost with all them 5-star quarterbacks, take that loss and sit on down and watch the game like we're going to watch it. I'm talking to all the Bulldog fans, all of them. The Falcon fans, somebody put in the comments, fans always left counting on next season, man. So next season, we'll see the Falcon fans again. Peace out, man, and thank y'all again.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, they both said it. We appreciate y'all tuning in. This is the first show of the year, and there are no holidays coming up. So, we'll be running and gunning every Monday night. Whoa, D, look at your little special effects and whatnot you got going there. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. We will be back next Monday night at 8 p.m. Until then, enjoy the football. Hey, hold the track real quick. For all the folks in Georgia, y'all know how this city acts when there is snow coming. And I just wanted to say the update that I saw about 2 hours ago before we jumped on the show.
75%.
Friday night, we are supposed to get 5 inches going into Saturday morning, we are going to get another 3. So please, that's 8 friggin' inches. Please be safe. If you have a generator, make sure it is gassed up. If your car is not 4-wheel drive, please don't get on the road.
And go ahead and go to the store now.
But don't panic buy. Don't panic buy. Don't go in there and buy everything.
Go now, though. Go now in the beginning of the week so that they can restock for people that can't make it in the beginning of the week versus everybody in there Wednesday night.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and get stuff now.
Go buy all the chips. Go buy every chip. I'm on vacation. Go buy
and all the liquor.
We buy every chip.
I'm trying to buy a house in 2 months. Buy all the liquor. Okay.
Like Kev said, man, if y'all tuning in, make sure you got a generator, man. Get some gas now. Go get 5-gallon bucket, jug of gas, and just have it and be ready to go, man. Because with snow brings power outages and bad accidents and loss of a lot of stuff. So y'all keep it up, man. Y'all get your head on right.
And who knows, maybe next Monday when we jump back on, we will still be snowed in because with all the cold weather that we have had, that means this stuff's going to stick for a day or 2.
I don't come out in no snow. Not in my car.
When you work salary, you can say that. A lot of people work hourly.
I can work from home.
Again, a lot of people don't have that luxury. So whatever you have to do, be safe.
Absolutely. And it shouldn't be an issue with the weather. So make sure that the beer stays cold and the wings are lemon pepper, baby. We are